Oh, Little King is the name that I make stuff under. It comes from my name, Regan, means Little King in Irish. Greater Belfast is a show that I've made, and it features myself and a string quartet. And together we blend music and songs and stories to create hopefully a very immersive storytelling. Growing up in Belfast, I didn't want to think about the past. But in making this show, I felt like I had to, and I felt like I wanted to tell stories from the past because I could really feel like they were influencing me as a person right now and a lot of people my age. So I tell stories about the industrial part of Belfast, I tell stories about the obvious part of Belfast, and I tell stories about parts of Belfast that I've experienced that I love, that I think people need to hear. Well, the music in the show, I'm a composer primarily, well, a songwriter, so it's all kind of it's almost like a sheep's and wolf's clothing in that it's meant to be a pop gig and kind of pop songs, but they're completely messed about with and completely deconstructed. And a string quartet is presenting all of these songs. The songs kind of trip into almost scoring, like they're scoring my stories. I'm telling you the story, but the strings are just helping me make an atmosphere, and they're helping me connect wee ideas together. So the music is used as a wee utility, but it's also just songs, and it's also just a gig. When I was growing up, I was particularly proud of the punk scene in Belfast. I mean, I wasn't really part of it, but I was really proud of music like the Undertones and Stiff Little Fingers. I think there's a really particular brand of punk that Belfast, Northern Ireland does, and I really like it, and I really liked using it and exploring that in the show via a string quartet. I want the audiences to take away a feeling of knowing Belfast. I want them to experience what I've experienced, which is a change of opinion kind of, and an optimism about Belfast. Just using Belfast as a story or a vehicle to explore ideas of getting over grief and violence and moving on to something better and reevaluating how one feels about the place that they're from. Because the things that affect Belfast affect so many places. Being part of the curated lineup at the Traverse is huge to me. I think it's the best venue and showcase for new writing, and I'm so happy to be counted amongst the people presenting their work at the Fringe. I want to make Belfast greater in people's hearts and minds, and I want to change people's opinions of Belfast and for people to reevaluate what Belfast is. Because I have, in making this show, doing that amount of dates is going to be really, really fun. Right now I just want to do it over and over. I just want to get more people and tell these stories and make that music and hear it. I just want to do it loads. I'm very passionate, and I really believe in the stories that we're telling, and I think there's lots of value in them. So I want to get as many people as possible and tell them the story of Greater Belfast.